In this Blender tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use a CSV file to control the position and text on 3 different boxes. So right now I've got one box and I got to make 3. Now I can't just select this and hit duplicate because see how this goes. This is a child and it's kind of has to be selected too, so I have to do let's see, a shift, and now I think if I go over here and hit duplicate and then come and move around my mouse, it ends up being in a different location. So I will now hit the enter key, and I can tell I'm done because I have my 3 arrows, being the Z, the Y, and the X here. So I can move them as I wish. And I believe if I hit a duplicate here, and I will now have my 3rd text box, and I can check that I've done things right because I can see I've got a hamster and a name. Now I should say I was very careful when choosing these names because I've noticed that Blender wants to make everything unique, and if the text part isn't unique, it starts slapping on these 3 digits here, starting with 000, which isn't really a number per se, but it's a string that's got number-like properties. And it likes to count from 001 to 000 to 001 and 002. So if you're careful with these names at the start, except for the cube, for some odd reason it does something weird. But these things are kind of going lockstep. So now if I have a CSV file that has values for these particular identifiers, I call them object IDs, then I might be able to control what they say. Okay, so let's open up that CSV file. It's in this program, and so we can see I've got the 3 object identifiers, and this is going to be an X, a Y, and a Z value, so I'm just trying to change the Z values. And then I'm going to try and change the names that appear on the boxes that way. And I've gone ahead and done the save as a CSV file sort of thing. So I've already done that, so that should be fine. So now we have to write a program to go ahead and parse this kind of stuff. So we go over to a program sort of thing, and here it is. Every program that interacts with the Blender game engine almost has to have like these 6 lines, because this gets you down to the object level where you can start to do stuff. So you import the game engine like so, and you import this logic thing. You have your function that takes the container, which is the main thing. You say that container that's the owner of the container, and then you've got the scene, and in the scene you have objects. Okay, so now I can work on those. So I want to do something on these objects just once. Well, the problem with hamster run.py is it's going to run in every single frame. So how do you make it so that it doesn't, that it only works like once, okay? And the way you can do that is that this this owner sort of thing remains around. It's a dictionary. And so if you put a value in it, then let me just show you. Let's go, and I say if ran once in sorry, not in own, then I'm going to run a function which I haven't written yet, but it's going to be we'll call it start position, and we're going to pass it our collection of objects. Okay, and otherwise we and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put own ran once equals true. All right, so that the container owner is going to be around, and it's going to have a dictionary value of ran once, which is going to be true. So the very first time, that's not going to be there, and it's going to be cooking with gas. All right, so the next thing we have to do is define the start position. Start position objects. All right, so I like to write a, what do they call these? Anyway, an explainer, a little bit of text. So this sets start positions based on an external CSV file. Make it good English. All right. So, this is a CSV file. So there is a module in Python, standard thing, CSV. All right. And so with you open the file using the with command, open, whatever it's called, and I'm calling it hamster.csv. Boom. And it is for reading as HCSV. All right. And there's a reader thing, so we call this HCSV reader. Yeah. CSV reader equals CSV reader on that HCSV. All right. And for row in CSV reader, what are we going to do? Well, the object ID is going to be the first element of that string. Okay, and then X, Y, and Z are going to be rows 1, right? Row 2, and row 3. And the text ID and the text name will be the next 2 rows of that array. I shouldn't say rows. They're elements of the array. 4, row 5. All right, so then we're going to print a bunch of things. We'll print all this stuff. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 dot format, and that would be object ID X, Y, Z, and text ID and text name. I think I'm a little short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, so we need one more. So this is just to see, hey, did I collect that information? I'm not going to do anything with this initially. All right, so I save this. All right, I go back to Blender. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, wrong way. Blender. I'm in Blender. I go. I go to game, but I remember one of the things that's good to do is to add something called empty, because you say when you're trying to set up your camera, it's good to have an empty object for your camera to focus on. That's not one of these things that who knows where it's going to go and whatnot. So I do Shift A, and look, there's this thing called empty. Amazing. And all it is just a bunch of axes. Okay, and as anything, I like to give it a name. We'll call this camera. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to do camera focus. All right, so that's my camera focus. Okay, so now what do? I go and say, what does my film look like? Actually, let me just make this point. If it looks like this, you go, where's the text? That's because it's in this solid mode. And particularly when I'm in game engine up here, which is where my preferred spot, I really prefer to be in texture so I can see the words. Okay, so I can see my words. Now I'm going to go into a different mode. I'm going to go into the game logic. So there I can see my stuff. That's all well and good. And I don't have any things down here which I need in order for it to use my Python program. So I've selected on this camera thing, and I can actually make it the thing that's connected at all times to my program. So I have to add a sensor. It's going to be on always. Okay, and this interface is slightly insane. I can't seem to get over to where I need to be. Lovely. Why can I not do this? Ah, there. Squish that. I'm pretty sure I have to hit this button over here. Okay, so this is going to be on always, and then I've got to add a controller. It's the Python guy. Okay, it's a module, and the module was called hamster run, and then the method I want is a dot run. Okay, and I think I want to click on this button here because this is debug mode, and it means that if I go and I edit it, it will kind of reload it. But it's not really activated. I got to do this kind of thing. Okay, so if I click here and I say run, it really doesn't do anything. But that's okay. We didn't really expect that. Oh, we've got some new output. Okay, so that's actually where we want to go and see what did it print. Okay, so this is my text editor. Over here is what it printed. And it said, cannot import object cancel focus controller. So this is kind of where I have to debug because I'm very sloppy typing, and this is supposed to be def. Okay, so I have to find out all my typos. So, def, start position. Okay, yes, okay, so def run apparently worked, and it came down to here and said, oh, I don't really have a function like that. So now I do, and I go back to good old Blender, and I say, run thyself by hitting play. Getting that. Okay. There's my program. What did it say? Error. Name start position is not defined. Okay. Okay. Def start position. I think we have to do. Start position. Lots of spelling errors. All right. Name CVS. How many different variations of spelling errors can I make? CSV. CSV. Let's open. Okay, there we go. So we're making it, we're taking little steps forward for row and row. Let me just check my spelling sorts of things. Looks better. All right. All right. Blender. P. Escape. Alright, and then I look at this window, see. Oh, look at that. Alright, despite all those spelling errors, you can see that only once did it go and grab these values. Okay, so now we want to put those values to work now that we can grab them once. Alright, so what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do, since we got past the dictionary of objects, we're going to see if our object ID is actually in that dictionary. So if object ID in objects, well, then let's do something. Then objects with that object ID dot position equals, I'm going to just do a line continuation. How do we do that? Actually, yeah, just that. It equals an array of floats. So you have to go float on this because it's just going to say, well, that's just text, man. That's not a number. So you could do float x, float y, float z. Okay. Yeah. Z. Okay. And that's that one. And then if we've got a text ID in objects, I mean, it's just a different sort of object, then we're going to assign the text of that to the text name. So objects, just like before, string text ID dot text equals text name. And that should be it. So when we go back to our Blender thing, and we play our video, oh, wow, you saw those names there. Let's actually do that again because that was, oh, except that we don't have our camera in exactly the right place. So how do we go about getting our camera in the right place? All right, so we have to deal with our camera. So let's go back to the default sort of thing and zoom out until we see our camera. Okay, now we've got to shift, click camera and camera focus. So now they're together, and we do a Control T, I believe. Add controller type. No. These are both selected. Darn it. Okay. Darn it. There is a way in which we can unify these guys. There we go. Track to constraint. I think I did a Control T on that. All right, track to constraint. And that just kind of links these two together. And if I do a okay, if I go into now normal mode and I want to do, oh my God, Control Z. Who knows what that was all about. All right, so now I'm in normal mode, and I want it to be in a particular view. I want it to be in the camera view. There we go. There. Okay, and that's where I say, oh, I need to back off a little bit. So I think there's that. There's that one. Oh, darn it. I cannot. All right, let's change our view. Top view. All right, let's take our camera back a ways or something, and let's go back to our camera view. Do we see more? I think we see some more. All right, so let's. There. So when we play it, we can now see Anne, Jim, and Jenny, and we exit it, and therefore we can say that we have taken these three boxes and we have used an external CSV file to be able to control where they are and what text is on them. So thank you very much.